All right, what's up, fellow Lords of Gaming? Welcome back to another episode of Log Reacts. So, kind of fucked up that I'm recording this for the second time, so you're not going to get a genuine 100% reaction to this trailer, but it's going to be my review of the game, and I'm just going to kind of spot some things that I already did. I published a video and realized that the commentary from Honest Games trailer was way too low, and so I'm going to do it again and give you guys my genuine feedback on Elden Ring, smished in with the funniness that is Honest Games trailers anyways, because like I said in the previous video I recorded, I was going to do this with some talk about, you know, some of the devs from Ubisoft and Guerrilla Games, talking shit about them, and talk about Steve Saylor and Grant's interview about accessibility. But I thought this was a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun, especially for a game as widely popular and as successful as Elden Ring. So let's jump right in. By the way, I love honest trailers as well. So Honest Game trailers, I'm loving that this dude is doing this.
The following is rated S for spoilers.
Get that Elden Ring! Get that Elden Ring!
Inspired by the mind of George R.R. Martin and the studio that brought us the video game equivalent of waterboarding, comes a new type of Soulsborne experience that changes the series forever with one very important twist. You get a pretty pony. Elden Ring.
So it's crazy because, look, they changed the formula, but they basically gave us what we have always wanted. Breath of the Wild, you know, did it great, and Elden Ring basically came out. George R.R. Martin was not the creator of the game, by the way. That's just not the truth. You know, he's had a hand of involvement inside of it, but the team at FromSoft and Miyazaki was the ones who did it. So, you know, take that for a grain of salt. But I am happy that we got that Steve, even though it looks like a donkey to me.
Stand in awe of the expanse that is Elden Ring.
That world is expansive.
Ambitious Souls game since they called it Kingsfield. Taking the
How many of y'all play Kingsfield?
Out of the traditional series of gated hallways into a vast open world filled to the very brim with every single thing that made you suffer in every previous title, which somehow took the series status from for hardcore gamers to universally beloved. Except for people who want to complain about the menus or whatever.
So this is what I wanted to get on. They did successfully move the game into this open world format. And the really cool thing about it is that the way things are set up inside this game, even in the open world format, you still don't feel safe. You will still run into enemies that feel almost as combative as bosses are. Almost as hard, where you're just like going to run your head against the ground. Like, I hate fighting certain characters in the open, and I just decide to just go around them because it is. But then he brings up this point right here, which is something I was going to bring up, which is I have never seen a game receive hate from development teams of other games the way Elden Ring is. Like, you've got a Ubisoft dev, freaking Guerrilla Games, Horizon devs. Jesus, maybe not everything's PC graphics. I mean, the one thing that I'll say is that on here, Rebecca Fernandez at least says stability and performance. There was a huge issue with stability and performance on the PC platform, so we can understand that. It was not optimized for PC. It feels like a console port to PC. I refunded my version of Steam, and then we jumped. And so, yeah, she's right on that. Stability and performance was a huge problem on PC platform. But quest design, shut up, Horizon. UX, shut up, Ahmed. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't really know what players want if this is the thing that you think you're hearing. You just hear yourself in a vacuum and what you think people want.
By finally executing from Software's plan of making everyone get good, whether they want to or not.
Get
in a time
good.
That proves Souls games aren't just for masochists that would voluntarily throw themselves in front of a balls-kicking machine. Or maybe just proves that somewhere deep inside, we're all balls-kicking machine guy.
So this is the real truth, and it was one of the things that was brought up in the interview of Grant, young man with disabilities, is that because the game doesn't force you into these boss fighting scenarios, you essentially get to pick your own path and how you're going to address, you know, bosses in the game. Meaning, you know, you could pop out, go wherever you want to, come back into the game, and legitimately level up a character, so that way you do feel more confident in fighting character. Fextra Life has done a wiki wiki that they have for the game like they've done in previous games, and you could literally find that there's a progression. There is a progression path inside here, a leveling chart, you know, for where you should be at certain levels inside the game and who you should be fighting. Doesn't mean that you just don't have to ignore that. There's already players beating the game without leveling up once.
Now that it's mainstream, I'm pretty sure making fun of these games is considered kink shaming.
Don't kink shame me.
Explore the sheer magnitude of the lands between.
Doesn't that shit not look like Howl's Moving Castle?
Landscapes of the Souls aesthetic are blown up American extra large.
The landscapes are absolutely beautiful in this game.
And like 10 distinct varieties of poison swamp to absolutely get stomped on in each and every one of them.
Yes,
where despite the fact that you're in a Skyrim-sized world, you'll still do the Dark Souls thing and run past all the dudes to collect graces, just so you can declench your sphincter a little bit.
Yes,
which is lovely.
Declench sphincter indeed.
They give you a double jumping horse, only to realize that you've gone too far as you get completely demolished by a single enemy. Then discover the true genius of Elden Ring, as you simply pack it up and go somewhere else for a while.
And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. If you're not powerful enough, go level up.
Boss for hours, which plagued the previous titles. Then watch in horror as your dumbass does that anyway, because getting beat down by Margit 20 times has injured your pride.
And you know what's really cool about that is that if I choose, you can literally choose with this game the same way you could with Dark Souls games to set these self-imposed limitations on your gameplay, so that way the game becomes more difficult. I started as a wretch. That was a self-imposed. I haven't used any heavy armor or even medium armor because I just simply want to stay as a light base roll, dexterity character, kind of flash dancer. I knew I wanted to go get Bloodhound Step. I knew I wanted Uchi Katana. I knew I wanted Moonveil Katana. I knew that you know what you want to get based on things that you see. Visually, there's some armor pieces I would love to use, but until I can ensure that I get a light load, I'm gonna stay rocking my my underwear in the game and just roll around with that, so that way I have a light load.
It is if you can pry yourself away from meandering into every cave to collect all the weapons.
Gotta collect them all. Gotta collect them all as Pokemon weapons.
That doesn't so much as hold your hand as abandon you during childhood. Miyazaki said he was going out for cigarettes. He
said, "Yo, your dad went away for milk and never came back. You were unworthy."
Elden Ring, and step into the shoes of the Tarnished. Another dreg of a protagonist that finds themselves in a world where every person, animal, and plant wants to kill them. Tasked to fight a bunch of demigods.
Yo, how funny is it to see people dying to Star Scourge Radon?
That sort of lets you know what's going on from the get-go, but still somehow manages to be just as vague as you piece together the cryptic dialogue of the numerous weirdos and creeps around you.
There's a lot of weirdos in this game. Renalia is big, bro.
Which is probably what has kept George R.R. Martin from writing more Games of Thrones for all
we don't need him to write any more Game of Thrones.
95% of the player base will ignore it completely.
I know there's a lot of players out there just skipping this conversation.
Storyline, big sword kill guy. But hey, I guess somebody's got to keep the Souls YouTuber economy afloat.
Yup. Yo, so to talk about the Souls YouTube economy, the ridiculous thing is, I remember when it was Epic Name Bro, Vachavidya, Fextra Life, Cowboy, Fighting Cowboy. Those were like the majority of the Souls people you could. You went to Epic Name Bro for one piece. He's over on Twitch now. I haven't seen him post anything on YouTube in years. You got Vachavidya, who's still like one of the lore masters on YouTube. You got Fighting Cowboy. I haven't seen if Fighting Cowboy has produced anything for this shit. I gotta take a look. I haven't really checked out his channel. And then Fextra Life is obviously, Fextra Life has blown up. I remember when his channel was all like, Soul stuff, even his webpage, and he's just, my man's become power picks basically. So it's amazing when you look at the game, the state right now, because the game has sold so many copies. It's seen so much success metacritically, user reviews, that it's like, it's amazing to see so many people finally accepting this fandom and accepting the games. Like, I remember so many people when Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, and all these games came out, and people were like unimpressed by the game. They were like, nah, why am I gonna bang my head? And now you have players jumping inside this game and like, yo, let's give this shit a chance. And it's great. I love it. I'm absolutely adored by it.
Fire in the frenetic combat of Elden Ring that revamps the systems of the previous titles and adds the unthinkable. A jump button.
Because why can't we have jumps?
Second thing to mash until you rub your fingerprints off, other than dodge. Then jump in.
Jump roll, dodge. Jump roll, dodge.
Experienced. where new additions like guard counters and awkwardly fighting from horseback add variety to the encounters.
I hate the horseback riding, if I'm being honest. And playing
just like normal. To constantly get instantly bodied so hard you die in real life.
So here goes the funny thing. I haven't used magic at all yet. Like, all I've used was summons. I'm staring away from magic. I'll do a magic build. I'll do a strength build. I'll probably do a number of builds and share them with you guys. Like I said, I'm still enjoying the game for me right now at this moment. So I'm probably going to do some streams, but I think I want to stream on Twitch instead of streaming on YouTube. So I'm going to probably do some streams for this game once I complete my Dex build and maybe do like a strength build on there. I'm not sure yet though.
In combat that will test all the skills you've built up in countless hours of the previous titles, and inevitably crush your ego on the altar of some horrible construct with way too many limbs, or simply a big dog.
I hate that damn dog.
And invite strangers to help you take them down, or summon an upgradable spirit jellyfish, because honestly, why not?
I love the summons in this game because they're actually cool. I haven't collected use some of them yet because I don't have enough FP to do it.
The one that gets the game's bad optimization, and every dickhead who keeps trying to get you to jump off a cliff. You know, nothing quite
a lot of dicks. By the way, VYetiCaster has a group password code. Seekers, join them so that way you can ignore all these people trying to get you to jump off fucking The only annoying thing is that once you put that group password in, you guys see every fucking dick who's basically become a lord or Elden lord or whatever.
More than reading 40 messages that say Fort Night. So put on your oversized hat and get ready to praise the
Fashion Souls
for a gaming experience that treats you like you're smarter than you actually are, which despite its highs and lows deserves genuine respect for sticking to its genuinely unique design that attempts to truly make you feel like you're exploring a forgotten world and not just checking off boxes on a list. And I'm not just saying
word. So let's talk about that because that's the main thing that I think people like Ahmed Salama and these other dipshits that are writing things on here is that tried and it's a trope now at this point that you jump inside MMOs, RPGs, and basically you're like handheld all the way through the process where it just becomes, yeah, we have to generate our own checklist for how we engage in the environment inside Elden Rings because we are literally experiencing a world. It'd be the same thing like if I was dropped into this new world, like let's say for instance, I got dropped off in Europe. I don't know nothing about Europe, where to go, who to engage with, who to interact with. I wouldn't have these checkpoint lists that you would tell me this is the quest. I would have to figure that stuff out. And that's what Elden Ring asks you to do. Other games like freaking Horizon, even Assassin's Creed Valhalla or whatever you want to talk about, they literally force you into the same title tropes. Collect X, do this, do that, and there's no story behind them. So you genuinely feel like you're just jumping in. I saw a recent article about Guild Wars 2 and its story quest. And I will tell you right now, I love the story quest inside of Guild Wars 2 because they did something unique with the questing. It never just felt like I was just going over here to collect X number of things or kill X number of things, escort, such and such, or you know what I mean? Like protect such and such. I felt like I was doing something. Elden Ring does a good job, running into Bach for the first time and be like, yo, where's this voice coming from? The first time you hear Blade inside the Mistwolf Forest and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this dude just sitting up here? Like figuring stuff out like that and having that become a community affair because we're all looking at each other while we play this game and like, yo, why was this dude sitting up there? Let's figure out what it is. And then somebody figures out, hey, you just snap your fingers so that way Blade jumps down. And you're like, yo, this is cool, bro. Like we figured some shit out. You know what I mean? I love it. I really do wish they would get Epic Name Bro and VYetiCaster and these guys to do a official guide, however, though. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Saying that because of the Stockholm Syndrome anymore. Starring. Dying.
Lots of dying. I ain't cry about it.
And dying from
I have definitely misjudged some jumps. I haven't rolled to my death yet either. I have done that shit way too much. I cheesed the shit out of my Bloodhound step.
Grieving in PvP as revenge.
Haven't done a lot of PvP yet.
Despite fat rolling, hitting every wall in case they're an illusion.
I've done quite a bit of that.
Over and over. destroying all furniture around you.
So here goes the one thing I want to point out to you guys about the rerolls and stuff like that, right? Here goes the really good thing about Elden Ring too, right? Is that I think a lot of people miss out on when they talk about these quest-oriented, overly done UX experiences inside games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Horizon. Essentially, like even the conversation comes up when you talk about live service versus RPG games, for instance, like Marvel's Avengers versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Essentially, when you play a game, right, the problem with a game like Horizon, where they hold your hands through it all, is that once you've played through the story, you don't have a reason to come back to that story. There's like no incentive. Inside Elden Ring, the really cool part about this is that I could essentially miss things on my first playthrough and maybe learn from a friend or two or the community. Oh, you know what? If you want to do this, you can go. You can go over here, and I might want to replay. Even the replay value on having to refight bosses, like hey, I spent all this time fighting Godric the Grafted. He dropped his soul. I got the freaking the dragon skull, so that way I can blow fire at my ass. But I didn't get his weapon, so I'm gonna replay the game because I want to get both of his weapons. Maybe I do it on New Game Plus, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the thing about Elden Ring, right? Is it has a replay value because even if you played the game once, maybe you decide I want to jump back in and I want to play a, strength build. Oh, I want to jump in and play a faith build. I want to jump in and play a sorcery build. I want to jump in and play any of these different kind of class builds, and I can mix matching up, and the play will feel different, especially for new players. Maybe not for the pro players who like, I've got this down pat. I can beat everybody with a fucking club kind of players. But for your general overall players, there's so much replay value in the fact that you don't know where everything is. You don't know if you're going to miss this little secret over here, that there was this weapon over here. The giant turtle shell is sitting here and I missed out on it. You don't know. And that's the really cool, engaging part of the game that I think is missed out on by, some of these developers that are questioning, why is this game so successful? Because there's going to be people who are going to want to play New Game Plus just for the challenge. There's going to be people that want to play, have replay on the game simply because, and heaven forbid, they decide, fuck it, you know what? We're going to come out with some DLC for this. We're going to add some new quests. We'll add some new areas inside here. There's going to be even more replay value to see how that fits into the story, how it fits into the narrative. What secrets can I discover? What things have we missed out on because we don't know they're there? But some players playing this in fucking a year from now, we're going to find out, you know what? If you beat this person and then you beat that person, but you played it as this, you can do this. How many of y'all know that there's a secret that if you start as a wretch, there's an area only you could access starting out as a wretch? You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of things that are embedded in there because you don't know and you're not handheld. Gamers are not stupid, especially new age gamers coming in right now. They want a challenge. They want to feel like they're like brain dead. Stop developing games that are just essentially making drones out of gamers and give us something challenging. We can handle that shit.
Patches. Looking like a child who dressed themselves.
I love Fashion Souls. I want that uniform for sure.
Laughing at Rudon's ridiculous horse, crying around Rudon's ridiculous horse.
So I want to kill Blade because I want his shit, but then I feel bad about that.
In game and in real life.
Hey man, I got a girl. She be watching me play this shit. Elden fingering. Like, yo, me and my girl be watch Afro Sinju. That dude is one of the funniest guys that I've watched. Afro Sinju XL, I think is his channel, and he does some of the funniest like story driven plays for Elden Ring. Period. Go watch him out. He's absolutely hilarious. And me and her will sit there and just watch his gameplays just simply because of how funny that dude is. This game is a solid 9 out of 10. No shit, and I don't really care what people have to say. The game is a solid 9 out of 10. I dock at a point mostly because of his PC optimization. I hate the fact that I couldn't play such a beautiful game on my ultra widescreen. I really hate the fact that, I'm limited on my FPS to 60 frames per second, even though I'm playing on a freaking 3080 graphics card. I hate some of those things that they chose, and the game really feels like a console port, but I'm enjoying the experience on my my PlayStation and enjoying that in 4K. But it'd be better if I could experience it as a PC, a PC title, a proper optimized title for it. But overall, I would say the game's a solid 9 out of 10. I think any player could jump up and pick up this game and feel like they have a place to pit. This game is definitely not going to be for everyone. Don't get it twisted. It's not for everybody, but enjoy it as you may. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of Log Reacts. Until next time, peace.